Hello again. 1 second. Let me just disconnect this. All right. Um. 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 Yeah. Hello. Hello, AA592. Welcome to my stream. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. And yeah. Let me just set up a few things before I get started. Okay. Oh. It's a little bit too loud. So I've been in here for, for quite a while actually. I don't think I've turned off my PC in a day. And I've been in this session for 7 hours. Oh, would you look at that? Actually, I didn't even think the session could last 7 hours. I spent the day working on fixing my virtual pointer so it only works while I'm in the zone. And I haven't exactly finished that. I'm still working out the kinks. I'm trying to make it completely. I'm cleaning out the edge cases. Right. So stuff like if you're in the zone, oh, you can't move. Oh, I just flew. Let's see if I go like this. Yeah, you can't move really. But if you're in the zone and you, let's see, press this one. Oh, wait, where's my, what the heck? I am having my evening is great. My whole day has been great, so thank you. What the world? Chat? I think being in the session for so long has bugged out my thing, because I should have like way more options there. Yeah, there we go. I should be able to fly with that. Okay. Well, I can't move out. I guess it removes the input mapping for stuff. But let's say this situation, right? Before, it wasn't. I mean, I couldn't have shown it because I've already fixed it. But before, if I like, let's say, anyway, if I, okay. Yep. So if I jumped out while having the virtual cursor, I would effectively be stuck, and I won't go away. But I have fixed that. However, there's another little problem that I found out. Which was that, right? Let's see. Oh, I've bugged it out again. There we go. But I don't even know how to. Okay, so it's a bug I found with, and I know it's with my code, I'm pretty sure, but I need to have a controller connected. So I still need to, I'm trying to repro the bug so I can I can better focus my target on fixing, so I know how to fix. All right, but basically, when you get cursor, like it's supposed to just put the cursor on your screen. But I don't even know whether it's like spam opening the virtual cursor that but like essentially what happens with the bug is that like it makes it so that whenever I go into virtual cursor, it clicks wherever my cursor is at. And then the clicks don't actually work. So I'm just gonna like save this. Oh, maybe. All right, so open up. Oh, there it is. So you can see because I just opened it, right? This is when you click with it, it'll make it smaller, right? This is me holding it down. So this is me clicking, but right now it's bugged. And if I just open it, oh, I think I fixed it, but let's see, right? Oh, there it is. So if you like spam open and spam click, you get it bugged to where like opening it would click the location, even though like right now I'm just opening it and it's like it's clicking. So that's what I'm gonna, yeah, obviously that's not very good. So that's what I'm gonna be trying to fix today. Well, not the only thing I'll be doing today, but it's basically what was happening here. So, I started working on it about 7 hours ago. I worked on it for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever, till about here. And like I did a lot of other things, and then I got here, and then I kind of just went to bed. Right? So nothing here should be a problem, really. Actually, I don't think this is a problem with my code specifically. I think it's a problem with the thing itself. Because my code here, before it does, this is where it sends the thing to, this is where it does the thing to, that eventually like triggers the interaction on the objects that it's clicking. And this only happens when it's clicked. It begins detecting a click. So it's not like I'm doing some weird stuff. It's the stuff itself. That's all I can think of right now. So if I do this, yeah. So right there, I'm obviously not clicking. Right off, okay, now I think about it, I could probably fix this by not using the begin detect event. Yeah. I'm just going to use this one, trigger activations, because this is when it's like successfully clicked. So ideally that one should have a more, because I'm guessing here, it's possible that you glitch it out and this starts firing on open, or more, this starts firing on, okay. Okay, okay, okay. I think I'm figuring it out here. I just got an idea. Because one thing I noticed, right? How do I open that? One thing I noticed was if you, let's say I'm starting here, right? So if I start moving this and I keep holding the movement and I remove it, see? I'm not touching it right now. It's just moving on its own until I touch it and then it's back to normal. So if you're moving it and you remove the mapping while still, holding the movement and you put the mapping back, it's going to continue moving, right? So I'm thinking it's like a built-in situation problem, like that we can't really touch. And that's essentially okay. Okay, I think I figured it out here. No need here. I'm going to like do the open bug without spamming it. Oh, right. I'm going to do the open bug without spamming it by simply holding down and then removing the mapping. And if my hypothesis is correct, when next I open it, it's going to automatically click on its own. Ah, there. So that's it. If you are performing an action, so you're either moving the cursor or you are holding you're moving the cursor or you are like holding it down. When you remove the mapping, then whenever you add the mapping back, it would automatically perform the last action. I'm going to try this with a mouse then. So I'm going to click. Okay. So now the mouse, like it's fixed because if I make it like okay, hold. If I bug it out with the yeah, so now it's bugged. If I bug it out with the controller and I open on the like it, I didn't click. I did not click. So I just opened it. So if I bug it out with the controller and I use like a mouse, then it's still going to be bugged. And now I think about it, I'm actually curious about how this would look like on mobile because right now it's clicking where the mouse is, but on mobile, the click location is your touch. So when you add it to the player's screen and they're not touching somewhere, what does it click? Anyway, let me try and see if I can. Okay, so now like clicking. So similar to how like, let's do the move one. So I'm gonna move, and then I'm gonna let go. Okay, and now it's gonna keep moving on its own. Similar to that, where it's just moving on its own. If you move it a little bit, it fixes. So you can fix the click one by clicking once, and now it's like it's fixed. So I'm going to try and bug it out with the mouse because I actually didn't succeed to. So I'm going to click and hold and let go. Okay, yeah, see, that's the thing. Like this bug only happens with the controller, right? But if you put the bug with a controller and you switch to a mouse, then it would happen with. So I mean, I guess it makes sense considering. Okay, let's say I'm moving. Yeah, it does. I guess it does make sense. Yeah, I guess it does make sense that it would only like you can only initiate the bug with a controller. Because let's say I wanted to do the movement one where I'm moving my mouse and then I let go. Obviously, my mouse isn't going to. Wait, hold up. Let me see. I'm gonna start here, and then I'm gonna move and let go. Okay. Yeah. So my mouse is still. The mouse wouldn't automatically like keep moving because it's a mouse thing. So it's only with the. Oh, actually, let's see. If I do the movement one with the controller, and boom. So it's on right. Oh wait, no, it's not on. Let's do it again. So go. Okay, so it's on, and then I switch to the mouse and I put it in. Yeah, so the mouse wouldn't move. But the click one though, the click one, if you do the oops, still moving. If you do the click one, and you Yeah, right there. Just clicked on its own. The quick one would carry over to the mouse, but you can't like start the bugs. Wait, let me just click. So now it's fixed. I'm the one clicking. So you can't start the bugs with a mouse. Yeah, you can't, but you can with a controller. I don't know if it's too big, like if it's something I should, I don't know if it's like a big deal here, because I would think how this would pose a problem is a controller player, right? Let's say maybe they were playing and they held it. Now the thing is, right now my setup allows you to give it, like, I'm the one who decides when to put this on, right? But my cursor mode, you can also like take the control out of the player's hand. So right now, as the player, I'm the one who goes into the cursor mode. Let me go. So it's still, is it bugged or is it not bugged? Oh, let's make it bugged. So hold and release. And now open. Yep. So now it's bugged. Okay. So right now, opening it is like, I'm the one who decides that, but I can make it so that the player doesn't get to choose to open it, but like you can put it, like you can make the player, like you can put the player. Actually, I don't think I have that implemented yet. Did it just build? Hold up. Wait, I think this bug is a little bit more more than it seems. Okay. Then wait, what the heck? Okay. So and then let go. And then let go. What the world? Chat? Okay, so and then let go. Okay, so now it's bugged again. Yeah. And I just noticed, like, look, it's bugged, right? Right. So I just noticed that when I pulled out my blueprint, how do I build? I'm gonna pull out my stair. It just placed it on its own. Like I'm not pressing the button. I'm just. Huh. Okay. 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 I understand what the bug is now. It's not a bug, and honestly, now that I understand what's happening, like, oh, it's fixed. Now that I understand what's happening, I don't think it's something that's going to be fixed, because it feels more like a core Fortnite feature. I don't even know how I'm gonna start like putting out a bug report for this. But basically, so there's a thing in Fortnite, right? If you were to take away like the players shoot binds, right? Like their shoot ability to shoot. Let's get a gun. It's easier to. All right. So if you were to take away the player's ability to shoot, right? And like you took away the input mapping, you consumed input with an input trigger, like they cannot shoot. I haven't tried with the mutator zone though, but you took away a player's ability to shoot, and they held shoot, right, while mantling. Okay, no, I think you're supposed to mantle and then hold shoot. Okay, so you hold shoot, mantle, further. Okay. Because this was a. You're supposed to I'm going to hold down fire, and then I'm going to fall off. But while I'm falling off, I will hold space so that I automatically mantle. No, man. Okay, so I'm going to jump, and I'm still holding space, so that would automatically mantle. All right, and then I'll hold shoot as well. So holding on fire, so jump, hold down fire, and then fall off. What the fuck? Shit's making me look like I'm lying. This is an actual issue. Like, it's an actual issue. Let's see. Okay. So before I quit Hive, I did make a death one for the summer challenge for the ice cream just challenge. I want to go see if my work was used or if another one was made. Because the death one I made was pretty tough. Okay, so this was a bug. I'm gonna pick a gun that you are not allowed to shoot here. Right, so this one, for example, I'm actually trying to shoot, but you're not allowed to shoot because it has like the it has the ability to knock people back, so you can't shoot this. But if you help shoot and mantled, boom. So okay, wait. So right now I'm not clicking. I'm kind of like just stuck. I'm kind of just like stuck in like I'm stuck basically. Like I'm not leaving. Okay, well. So yeah. That is a built-in feature. I believe it's like built-in to Fortnite. Yeah, so it is my death run. Let's see how tough it is. Oof. All right. So for this one, I'm supposed to go up. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I actually can speedrun this. If we do that, up, and just go to the side. Boom. Right there. Okay. Oh, what the? Making 4? Oh, yeah. Right, right. At the time I said I couldn't you know, I couldn't talk about it, but yeah. You can actually do this jump here and land, boom. And then just gonna wing it. Okay, so this is actually how I made the death run. This was a lot harder than it is. I made it a lot easier because, you know, people just... Okay, but you've seen the issue, right? Which is that, actually, you can go back just by doing, because I have like a custom checkpoint system, which is based on a location thing and not actual checkpoints. Okay. Yeah, so not supposed to shoot. And then if you like hold down the shoot button while okay, so you jump and you just hold down that. Yeah, and now you can shoot. So you're not supposed to hold the jump. That's the thing. You're supposed to just hold down the shoot and then fall back down and then mantle back up. So that whatever thing is happening with that setup, right? I think that's what's causing the virtual pointer issue, where if you're holding down the button and you exit, like you take away the mapping context and you give it back, it would keep on pressing the last held input. So I don't think it's something I can fix. But I am happy that it's something that only happens on controller. However, I'm going to switch this to, before the raycast, I'm going to switch to trigger, like a successful trigger, to see if maybe that will help. Trigger activation event. Alternatively, actually, I can make it so that, holy sh... What did I copy? Trigger activation event. Put it, handle, yeah, put it here. And I'll see if this fix, I have an idea for something that technically should fix it. But I don't know. Ooh, I can actually implement so many things. You know how, like, if you click, like right now, if I click on the X and I sort of like move my stuff away and release, it doesn't close the thing. I could implement that feature by just switching this trigger activation event to be detection and detect event. I love first, man. All right, we'll compile. We'll see if this fixes the issue, and we'll compile and launch. Okay, let's give it a go and see. Check. Okay. Okie dokie. What is going on? It's stuff like this that could introduce unintended bugs, like bugs you would just wonder, like, why is that happening? Like, why is it clicking the thing? Because for me, how it worked, how I like came about it was like I was just spam testing. I was spam testing the stuff to see if I could break it, like my new feature, so it like only gives you the thing while you're in here. Because I changed up the logic quite a bit actually. to allow that. So I moved this out into its own function, and then I do two checks here. So I check if, so this part tries to see if I can get the player. This is basically, honestly, I think this might be a find, like a better find. All right, so this right here is just basically array.find to see if I can find a player inside this array that, has the cursor. If I can't find them, then I will always, like anytime you're trying to toggle the virtual pointer, if the player does not have the thing, it should always remove it. So I had to like move this out and rearrange and stuff. So I was spam testing. Shit didn't go. So I was spam testing like the stuff. So I was clicking a lot. And then I just noticed at some point that when I would go in, it would click something. And I was like, what did I? So if I didn't spot that, then you could build a game and players wouldn't know why they're clicking on stuff or why something clicked on something. But keeping it in mind, it's like, okay, if that ever happens, you wouldn't like spend hours trying to debug or stuff, or you could even just build your game around it so you don't end up in that situation and stuff. Okay, so I changed it to trigger activated event, right? Let's start the game. Okay, and now we'll see. So go in and hold. Oh my goodness, I forgot you cannot do that. No, yeah, okay. So there's a reason why I flipping made it the begin detect event, because the trigger activated event for the virtual pointer, not other things, it fires as long as you're holding the thing down. Oh my goodness, I just realized, but if you're like firing exactly when like the next stuff comes, I mean, it would automatically like, because it would sort it at even intervals. Like really, the whole idea about like winning this is that you cannot humanly put everything in at even intervals. But if I were to fire this evenly, then it's going to be firing at specific even intervals, which would look like this, where everything kind of goes in evenly up until it has like an overlap or something at some point. 2, 3, 4. So anyway, but yeah, trigger activated event kind of won't work because it fires as long. It fires every frame, which in this case would be 30 times a second that you are holding it down. Let's use something else again, I guess. If I do the actually never, like, I keep wondering how this, because this is an event, it's not a function you call to query like how long the player has been holding it. It's a function that, so does it like return like, because so I'm guessing here this fires every tick, just like the trigger activation event, but then every tick it kind of updates the time since the detection began. That's what I'm guessing, because otherwise, so then you would probably like put this in the stuff, and then you would get the time and use that to like gate the event. Let's say I want to make like a press and hold button. I guess you would do it with this one. But yeah, let's do end detect event. So when the player like let's go. What is that? Let's goes. lets go. Why does that sound wrong? When the player lets go. When the player lets goes. Let's goes. Goes, let's. When the player lets go of the button. It sounds like I'm saying let's go. Like it doesn't. When the player lets go. When the player lifts his finger off the button. Let's go with that one. Let's go. English. All right. And detect event, and we will put this here. So when the player lets go of the button, it's going to do the raycast to check what they're holding off. So then this will just, inherently give me the full. Oh wait. I think I know what the problem is. No, this one takes tuple of a player and a float. So what's the problem actually? Oh my lord. Okay. I just realized. Yeah, okay, now I see the problem here. So this one is parametric, right? Where t can be anything, right? And in this case, t is going to be the vector, begin detect event as well. T is going to be the vector, like the position where they're clicking. Right, so the value generated by the physical input, same here as well. So, but the end detect event does not have any value. It's just that, like, that you have clicked. Actually, now think about it, this probably would be like a better way to detect, to do a hold button, because you can like race, like you can sync the two, and when this one finishes, then you would check if they held for long enough. All right, so this is not going to work. For starters, honestly, I'm just really stuck with not this one. I could probably use this one. But I don't know what cancel it's considered. So really, it's looking like I can only use the begin, or I could use the trigger activation event, and then do something where I kind of like check if they have let go. When the player let go, let's go. Oh my gosh, and then I'll do something to check if they have like let go since the first time they pressed it. If not, I would ignore other triggers. Honestly, I'm just gonna do this and call it a day. Yeah, just gonna leave it like this. As long, I mean, that's bad. Like I should try and fix it. The thing is, if you, this is how it should work. The fact that it automatically clicks its last location on like re-adding the input mapping to the player, that's not really something like that's a Fortnite baked feature, and I think it probably, this is just like an educated guess here, something they did to enable seamlessness between building and like transitions. Like, if you're building and this is just what I think is happening, right? But let's get a gun real quick. Did I not click on the thing? Wait, what the heck is going on? Oh, I think there's something in the way. There's got to be something in the way. Or was I just not clicking it right? Okay, so there's either something in here that I'm like hitting, or it's a distance thing, but it shouldn't be a distance thing because I should have the distance on infinite. Oh, okay, yeah. So, like I thought, there is whatever the word this is. What the heck? Wait a minute. Hold on. SM underscore plane. Why does the plane have like a huge ass collision box? It's just oh. Right, it's because my custom fake interact button uses the scale to, you know, control the focus cone radius and the um, the distance as well as the scale of the actual thing. So scale here, I'm up there maybe. Scale here, and this one should be like the interaction distance. So, and then this one should be just like the angle between which it would, you know, like you need to look at it for it to show up. So bump this up and boom. All right, so it's because of that that it had the weird collision of it. Okay. Yeah. Sheesh. I was like, there's no way my stuff is not working. It's gotta be something in the way. There we go. Let's replace with that. Okay, so when you building and editing, and you know, like you, right, let me go to the gun out. So edit, and then the fact that okay, you're without letting go, it would automatically attempt to fire a weapon. In order to have that feature, so that players don't have to like edit and like click again, I think whatever is going on in the player's characters, like input stuff, is what's causing the bug where if you have the stuff and you click and hold and you remove the mapping, then it's automatically going to click when you just put the mapping back. So I think that's just guess, by the way. It's not like I know for sure, but I feel like the functionality that's been implemented to allow for, like for example, if I hold shoot and then I mantle without letting go and repressing, it's going to continue shooting. Whatever is done for the character to do that is what's causing the interference, like what's breaking this. So it's not really something that I can fix, and it's not honestly something I don't think they would even attempt to fix, because it's just the way the Fortnite characters are supposed to be. So yeah, luckily though, if you are on like mouse and keyboard and you click and hold and you remove it and you put it back, it doesn't do it. So it's only in controller that it would put you in that bugged state. Okay, so I think my cursor stuff is now 100% fixed. Yep. Boom, fixed. I don't know. Another thing I guess would be, well, it's not a big deal, right? Right now, like you right click and you go in. I don't like that, right? Because, well, honestly, I think about it, I don't think it's a big deal because I should have that like customizable. Enter, yeah. So here, like you can set exactly what you want to be the thing that lets you go into the stuff. And of course, unfortunately, you have a lot of stuff. Well, not a lot really, but you do have some stuff. I don't know what the heck this is. So we have crouch, jump, persona push to talk, point to select. This one is, yeah, you definitely can't put this. Wait, if I put this, I would need to have the cursor, and then clicking the cursor would give me the cursor. So, reload, ranged weapon. So let's put reload. Reload seems to be like the only one that doesn't do something with your character. All right. So for example, if I'd used jump, then it would attempt to give it to me while I'm jumping, and then when I jump, I'm going to leave the zone, and it's actually going to stay. But then I would have done the jump, which is not ideal. Right. If I did crouch, then obviously that's going to move my camera. The main problem with ADS is that it's moving the camera. I just want to be able to like go in without like, you know, modifying the camera state. So right now, reload seems to be the only one that like, you know, you can use, and it's not that bad, because other things could be used for a game, right? If you have a game that's not about shooting, which most likely if you're using virtual pointer, your game really wouldn't be about Fortnite combat, then reload would be a free open bind. And these are the ones that are kind of useless because you have to have UI on for them to work. So yeah, we only have, like, realistically speaking, we only have the weapon stuff and reload. So I'm going to use reload for it. Another thing I want to implement is the ability to check if we should hide the player character when we enter stuff. So for example, in my OG custom cursor, it always hid the player. Trying to find out exactly where I'm doing that. Let's see. Probably before I call it. Yeah. Oh wait, no. Here. So before I call it, I hide the player. And this always just happens without any control. So let's do a let's add the ability to just toggle that feature on and off. So now it should be with the reload button. Wait, it's not with it. Anyway, let's see. I have a bunch of things in some places. Configuration. So category-wise, yeah. Yeah, it would go in configuration for sure. So for configuration, I have hide cursor. Just gonna make like a player. Oof. Player character. I don't know if like. Yeah, it's specifically for the two, so the free cursor and the virtual pointer, not really the locked one, because I don't think it should have that feature. So hide player. I'm gonna go here and do hide player there, and it should be true by default. Then you turn it off. So this is the first place. So we'll do if car dot that and hide player, then what the heck? Car. Oh wait, you know what? F that. If character that and hide player. Then hide, and then we'll do the same in do the same on the second one, which is in the enter free cursor. Okay, so there it is. Done. Okay. Yeah, so now it should be the reload. That puts it in. Nice. Now I just realized I want to add, right? I want to add, yeah, if you're visible, and you click on yourself, then it should not do the thing. So definitely, like for example, I think it's a variable. It should be a variable. I mean, like, yeah, something that is cached. So it is. I just wrote it right now. What am I saying? But if I turn this off, so this is like a problem that I'm kind of seeing. So two things I want to add is the ability to toggle entry or hold, kind of like what we have here. What did I press? What we have here, where it is while held or toggle. Right now it's currently by default while held. So, oh right, it's working, but I forgot that so right now it's not hiding the player. And I think my core logic is set up to still ignore the player. So like right now, if I go in and I click, it still shots because it ignores the player. So I need to make it so if the player is visible, then it would, it wouldn't ignore the player in the sweep hit. And then finally, I need to make it so that I can choose if I want the players to hold, or if I want, like right now you hold and like you kind of have to hold the button, or if I want them to toggle entry instead. So 2 things. Okay, so if hide player, this would be in the filtering section. This would be in the filtering section for here. Yeah. So right here, let's see. If the hit result is this, then get the first hit result, else get the thing. So right here somewhere, I put the hide player. Or, yeah, or hide player is false. Or not hide player, then get the hit results, else get that. So that should, let's just do a quick check. Because I didn't really think deeply for that, so I might be wrong on the logic. But let's just see. So if I were to put the player, okay, so when it's hidden, it's fine. And then let's just do off. And now when it's not hidden, let's fail this a little bit so that I can know anything actually. I'm trying to fail. There we go. When it's not hidden, yeah. So when it's not hidden, you cannot click. What the? Wait, did I just? It's easier to use this. Okay, so you can't click. I guess there's no like hitbox in this part of the head, and it does make sense, I guess. But you cannot click through the player when the player is not hidden. Yeah. Bro. Yeah, you can't click through the player when it's not hidden. It's actually very quick. Like going in. If I click to go in and then I move my mouse like almost like a little second after, it would still rotate the camera a bit. So right there I clicked and then I moved, so click and move, and yeah, it still moves the camera. So you really need to like be still and then click in to go. But yeah, so that is fixed. Next would be the next would be I just said it right now. Oh yeah. Behavior. Entry behavior. Let's what do they call it? Let's use the good naming system. Oh, they just called ADS. Say while held and toggle. How do I call it? No. Yeah, look at that. All right, so gonna do that one. So we're gonna do. I'm trying to think of where I'm gonna put it actually. Yeah, that would fall under input configuration for sure. Input. So I will put it here. Man. This is where AI just saves the day. Give me a good name for this. Anyhow. See, now that's nice. That's what I'm talking about. Okay. Still thinking about the name of this thing. Not really very happy with it, but that is what it is. Free cursor or pointer usage requirement. I'm gonna call it that. Usage requirement. Yeah, I just cannot. I just cannot not call it that. It's gonna push the thing out. Great. I gotta push out every other one. Right. So we'll do that, and then we'll do control, right? What the heck? Right, we'll do one at a time then. Let's see where this actually goes there. Let's see. Private. I'm not sure if that's a thing, but I don't want this showing up in other stuff. Right. So I'm thinking best option here would be to, let's do this now, right? Let's do this now. Yeah. Categories and tooltips. Right, so that there, and then let's see. So then I need to disable this stuff so it doesn't try to fix the problem. Okie dokie. Unknown identifier. Yeah, I actually meant that. So let's see if I were to do using categories and tooltips. Invalid of internal data from control scope. Okay. Let's see. I see. Where I see, I have like two. I don't even know how to say to that, honestly. I wish I'm not doing what I'm doing, but I just cannot leave it like that. Surprisingly enough, I'd actually been reading up on this stuff. So, let's see what this is all about. Okay, let's see. Maybe I'll need to like qualify the thing there, but not the stuff. I'm looking for. I can use this to do. So I can do that in the place. And then I'm looking for the import. Import. There. Okay, let's see then. Okay. So let's do C TM is import Brody. Just I don't want to read the whole thing. Hi Kareem, hello. Hi. Thank you for stopping by. How are you, Kareem? How have you been? How have you been? Hmm. Oh, nice. Are you using what's it called? Are you using this? Or are you using this? Or something else? Bro's upskilling. Nice. Oh, okay. I know how to use like a little bit. I use it for my stuff. How do I close it? Okay. Okay. Oh, well, I mean, everybody starts bad, so. But the more you learn, the better you get. Nobody knew how to do anything from birth besides two things: breathing and drinking milk. Everything else had to be learned, right? And who's to say people even knew how to breathe growing up? Because think about it, you come from a place where there is no air in the womb, right? You're just surrounded by liquid, and then you actually probably, I think we probably learned how to breathe too. So we start out bad at everything, but just keep at it, and you will get better. Call grade. Well, that is that could be true, and yeah, even breathing, yeah, definitely. The more I think about it, the more it becomes obvious. I don't think we knew how to breathe from birth. It's something we learned. Um, what happened? Oh yeah. Holy moly! But I'm glad you're having fun, Kareem. At least just try to enjoy the process of getting better. Um, second, I'm gonna look. Okay, well, oh, I thought you left. Let's see. Import, blah 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 blah. You don't need to count. Okay, Kareem. Well, have fun if you're going and enjoy. It's been a very long time since you don't even play Fortnite anymore. Oh my goodness, Kareem. No, you haven't even been on in like ages. Oh, wait, what video then? If you sent it to my Instagram got banned, so I didn't see it. Just saying. I don't have an Instagram. No, it's not your fault. Stop. Ah, um, yeah, you could call it a false ban. Just yeah, what it got banned for? Well, since it's a false ban, then I'm just not gonna say. But it did get banned. Mm, statement level declaration. Um, can you like post a link in the chat, or you can send it to my. You can send it to Discord. Okay, so local using module imports. Oh, okay, so this is from a sibling folder, which I guess. Oh my, wait, now I think about it. Hmm. Hmm. Now I think about this. From a sibling folder should also be a sibling module, which means I should be able to fix. What the fuck is you getting? Oh, well, Kareem, I don't have Instagram, so I can't watch that because... But it's okay. It's okay. It's not your fault. All right. Let's try to first of all just for now fix whatever the heck is going on here. I need to figure out because I'm not going to. Yeah. So I plop that there, and then comment this out. Yeah. Like I can't watch it because I don't have an Instagram account. That's what I meant. Okie dokie. Right. Collapse. And then my utilities. There's like very OG utilities. My utilities conversions. Right, am I? Okay, wait, this is... Who is who? He's not my fan. You can ask, he's in the chat here with you. You can ask him who he is. You guys can have a conversation. DDDDDAAF592. Hi, say, that's Kareem. Kareem. That is... Okay, sorry, my bad. Den, meet Kareem. Kareem, meet Den. Yay. What was I? Right. Where was I? Yep. So from a sibling folder. Oh, so this like goes back and then goes in. Okay, I think I understand what's going on here. Oh my god, that could have helped so many. Oh, sheesh. Like part of the reason why I build like this with everything dumped into the assets. Well, that's a good example. Let's see. I build like this with everything dumped. Not a good example either. Instead of putting them in like the little folders in the assets is because I won't be able to access them without publicly declaring the folders. If I had known that you could just like step back out with like 2 dots before the stuff, I would have just used that. Oh yeah, but Kareem likes chocolate. He's a huge chocolate fan. Yikes. Okay. No, Kareem, he doesn't like chocolate. Okay. He doesn't like chocolate, Kareem. I mean, he I don't know. He's not a big fan of chocolate, I guess is the more correct. Oh my god, I didn't finish my flipping lesson.
Merci beaucoup.
Okay.
Espagnol.
Oops.
Comment ça va, Paul? Ça va bien?
All right, sped through that. Kareem, do you know how to speak Swedish now? Like, are you Oh my god, I almost clicked. Days, I keep almost pressing the wrong thing. Are you now like a professional Swedish speaker, or still a Swedish noob? Okay, nice. I don't want to start a streak with anyone. Okay. Import using import, and then it's a thing. Can you not import like? Like maybe I should actually do this. LUF.transform, I think might like look a little better than. I might need to refactor this to look nicer, right? Oh no. Well, remember to take a break every now and then. Too much work is not, too good, because health is important. Import and then a file directly. I do not know where I put the damn thing. Okay, so I'm thinking I cannot import the thing into itself, maybe? Right here. Import categories and tools. Oops. That should be the problem. Oh no, the problem was that I was using the braces, and I should have been using this. Huh, so you cannot do a thing. What do I do this then? Nope. So, yeah. Do like scene graph. Oh, maybe like cursor mount. Maybe cursor mount. And I take like this. Working on my map, the evolution map. No, I have not started working on the evolution map yet. I get the playground. So I'm gonna import myself and then Simulator Playground and then cursor mode. Kind of sucks that I don't know. Like I feel like I should be able to. Yeah, so you need to import like absolute stuff. I don't have 4 fans, Kareem. I have 4 friends. Hello. Hi. Hi, everyone. Kareem included. Okay, so it only works with module paths. I can see that, buddy. Yikes. Okay, well, I mean, it's not the end of the world, really. The flipping, you're talking about the... Oh, I mean, like, I did some stuff today, actually. I went around and I was gonna add, like, which one? Let's see. I actually don't want any fan screen, if I'm being honest. I think I've said this so many times now, but yeah. So I created like prefab structures for a bunch of files, right? Why are these all looking small like that? Yeah, so the prefab structure stuff files. I don't know. My YouTube is a sacred space. Okay, editor. So if I did this, then I would be able to do that. What am I missing here? I honestly hate the way this stuff is set up. The models for my map. I never commission models. So here's what's gonna happen. Oh, it wasn't a true number, Karim. It was just two people all along. Here's what's gonna happen. It's very likely. Okay, so for one, I don't know, it depends. If I can find, because for like the evolution map, for example, it's going to be like low poly-ish, right? You're not gonna have like realistic animals. It's gonna be like super low poly, which are like super low poly to the point where I basically might end up doing it myself. Honestly, I might end up doing it myself because it would be super low poly, like super low poly, right? Like I can't stress how low poly-ish it would be. It would be like really low poly. In fact, here's an example. Let's say you start as a worm. Let's say you start as a worm. Start as a little minty worm, right? Then what did I press? Loop cut and slide. Hold up. Just there like that. And then two. Try this. This was a okay. So switch. Here's a blender thing. Sometimes you want to be in specific view modes before doing some operations. So you like, for example, if I'm in vertex select mode here and I add the loop cuts in vertex select mode, then I'm going to have these vertices selected. And what that means, having these vertices selected, is that it inherently will select the edge between these two locations, right? But if I switch to edge select and then okay, hold on, let me do that back. So vertex select, and then I add the loop cut, is going to have the vertices selected, and this selected plus that selected automatically selects the edge. So if I were to switch to edge select, then I'm going to have these edges selected, which I don't want. So the solution to that would be to switch to edge select first before adding the loop cut, and deselect everything obviously. Before adding the loop cut, and now only those edges will be selected. Why would you want this behavior? Well, let's go back a little bit. If I was in vertex select and I added my loop cuts, and then I wanted to do a bevel, so Control B, it's going to bevel these edges, but that's not what I want. So that's why switch to edge select first, add the loop cuts, and then I can do a bevel on just that section. So, and then of course we're gonna do Alt E and extrude faces along normals, so I can just shrink that a little bit. Face select everything here, and then Alt S to fatten or shrink. So if like this is how low poly would be, like this would be the worm, right? This would be the worm. So it's something on the level where I could do it myself easily. It's something on the level where I could do it myself easily. I'm making the models for my stuff. It was a spider, like it would be super low poly. Oh, okay. Oh wait, I didn't see mess. If I want to add a lot of different animals, will I really make them all? Yeah. You see, like that's why I said the whole thing about the way the map is kind of different from the one I was showing before, which was the Be a Fish. The Be a Fish, you kind of, you know, you had a collection which you could pick from to go in to play as. But the map that the one I'm making, which kind of the same preset but different, is different in the form that you don't pick what to play as. You progress through, you know, through different animals. So you can't really have a collection. I mean, sure, I could basically say, like, you know, have like a you know, like a list of, like, I can have the players have like a gallery of all the animals they've been as, but you know, it's not really something you could do anything with, because you won't be able to choose, okay, I want to play as a worm or I want to play as a thing. Maybe no, because it's an evolution simulator. You just go through your selection, like you progress through different animals. And I won't have like, okay, so how do I explain this? It's going to be super, is this here? Okay, I'm gonna bring this down. My snip, S, and then to the animation. Okay, 1 second. Let's move this here. Yeah, there won't be any animal variations, right? So here is kind of like, if you had variations, if you had variations, then, you know, this is what you could imagine the gameplay to be as, right? You could play as different objects at each stage, but that's not how the game is going to be. It's going to be super linear, where you just progress this animal, then, you know, this animal, and then this animal. So very specific animals that you'd be going through. And one of the factors is that each one would increase in size. In Blender, yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. Oh, these do. Ooh, okay, I could do that. Man, I don't use those that much. Yeah, every player would have, indeed, exactly. Every player would have a fixed evolutionary path that they would essentially, like, go. Evolutionary path that they would go through. Now that you just said this, I'm thinking, no, probably not. Okay, I was thinking, okay, I could do like a rebirth thing where they would start as, start over again from a small thing, but then go through a different set of animals, I guess. But the reason why I won't do that is because this is not an original idea of mine, right? I'm basically remaking something from somewhere. So there's that. What the world just happened? So yeah, that is that's the crucial info, I guess. All right, I want to see what they did and how they did theirs. Damn. Let's see. What do you call it? Two tips, editables. There should be a thing. I haven't actually finished reading the. I don't know. I do not know. I haven't finished playing the thing yet, so I don't know what's at the end of the food chain. I just played it for a bit, and I was like, okay, this is fun. I should make this essentially. Yeah, I haven't finished making it. Oh my goodness. Wait, no, I think I skipped. Yeah. So in the book of verse, I'm somewhere around. I think I'm here. I think I'm here basically in this page. So I've read it across, and then I am. I don't think I'm here. Maybe I'm here then. I know for a fact I've read up until control flow. First, yeah, it was an unreleased feature. They should update this. It's no longer unreleased. Yeah. But the thing is, while I am remaking something, like from a specific game, I'm remaking the specific game in its entirety. I'm not going to limit myself to, just the exact stuff. Thank you. Thank you, I guess. But again, part of the whole remaking stuff is, that I am remaking the way it is in this thing. And they don't have variations, or well, the way the gameplay is, it's kind of like the only time I would say have a variation is if I do implement a rebirth mechanic. And a rebirth mechanic is something I would likely only implement if the game like takes off and is like super huge. Then I'm just thinking of like content, right? But in situations like that, I would probably, I don't know. I wouldn't like leave. I wouldn't speculate on stuff because I'm really the kind of person who likes to make stuff, right? So, um, if when I have a map that does well, I don't just stick on that one map. I tend to just want to go make other new stuff. Some might say, yeah, just like this is your bread and butter. Don't abandon. I'm not going to abandon it, but I like I like to make new stuff. So sure, there might be like if the map pops off and like holds like 20K concurrent for like a month, then that's like okay. There's like super, like it's not just a flare up, it's like true interest. I believe it would have true interest. Why do I believe? Because when I played the thing, I didn't know when I spent, like I was playing it and before I knew it, flipping 45 minutes had passed, right? And I was like, what the heck? I had to pull myself out of playing because I didn't want to go too far, you know, like because I didn't really know if I could reset my progress, so I didn't want to like progress too far, so I don't, so I can have it as a reference when I start making it and stuff. So that's how I kind of like maps that are, if I will play it, like if I'm having fun, then it's very likely other people will be having fun as well. Hmm. No, it's not that. It's it's not that. It's not a Roblox game, if that's what you're thinking. But where is this from though? Doesn't hurt to get um extra inspo. But it's not a Roblox game. Like yeah. Um, I would say this. It's not a Roblox game, but it's a game that has been played by millions of people. And there's also like a social aspect to it where you play with other people as well. Like it's like other people can hop in. I don't think it's Spore. I don't know what Spore is, so it's not. But anyway, we're not going to fish for what it is because I am like the place that I found these games that are like super, not, they don't look super easy, but they're like super fun and like quick mini stuff. This game perfectly checks what Fortnite is looking for, right? If you go into how Discover works in Fortnite, for example, right, and you read what they're looking for here, best practice, well, you like it checks the boxes. Games that are like easy to pick up, easy to play on mobile too, like very mobile friendly and stuff. So it's like I just came across this random website, not random. I'm trying not to give it away, but a location with games that have been played by millions of people, and they are like really fun and really easy to also make in Fortnite. Not easy, but it's easy because of SingGraph, of course. So it's like untapped, um, untapped territory stuff. Untapped territory. I'm still here, by the way. I would actually, no, it doesn't take ages to load. You should, yeah. But Fortnite as a whole is gearing towards going to a mobile-friendly zone. Mm. Right, what was I doing? I'm trying to, yeah, I remember. Tooltips. Right, so right now I'm trying to figure out what the intended workflow is supposed to be for adding tooltips. Let's just go off of this now. Oh, there's barely any. Damn. Oh wow. Sheesh. Let's look at the book of verse again, I guess. I can't remember where I saw this. Okay, actually, I think I can. And island transactions. I think that was where it was. So, transactions. Okay. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. Let's search things up a little bit. Actually, what's the holdup here? Oh yeah, I know. The holdup is that I want to put this in here, and this doesn't want me to put it in there. See? So even if I do that, it goes. Gonna do enter. So that's when it goes away. Okay. So yeah, it does have to be public. Now my concern with making this thing public just so I could, because all this gives me is just so I can collapse all of this by putting it in a module. So I can like collapse the module, but is it worth it? I do not think so. So we will not be doing that. Yeah. We will not be doing that. Aha. So what it wants is this. And we're golden. So, yep. I figured I could actually do like a thing if I did like this. And then I pushed it out once. And then I like collapsed it. Sheesh. I think if you bring this back. Good lord, I've forgotten exactly how to do it. No way. Is it this one? Right. Okay. Yeah, so I do something like and then I do this, that I'm able to collapse this without any problems. Anyway, right, back to the actual thing that needs to be done, which is free cursor or pointer usage requirements. I feel like I should call it something else. Oh man, let's leave it as is. F that. Okay, so damn, I've doodled around so much in so many different places. I don't even recall how I had planned to implement this. So if it's held, then it should. I guess we should just start by looking at. I wish I could just like collapse all of this, really. It pains me that I can't. Oh yeah, okay. So that's what the thing. Okay. Um. So, handle toggle thingy. If you are in. Okay. So the toggle stuff. Okay. get away with doing if, oh my lordy lord, this is why a good portable name would have been good. I could do let's just put that there for now actually. If that equals activation requirement dot hold, then we will subscribe to the end detect event. Yeah, actually, this should be the solution at the very least for the thing. So if I set this to toggle just going to compile this once more and push. Okay. So now it's set to toggle and I should be able to just click R. Yep. And then click R again. So toggle and yeah. And then if I set it to hold, is the game gonna start? Okay, so in terms of things I still need to do, like overall learning wise, it would be doing stuff with the skeletal. Wow, it's actually crazy. Like we can now, I hear it is bugged quite a bit, so um, I'm kind of holding off on learning its usage until, you know, it gets not bugged. Because the worst thing that could happen if you're learning something is you're learning how to use something that's bugged, because you'd get stuck and it would be hard to tell if you're stuck due to your own, it being your fault, or if you're stuck because the thing is just broken. So skeletal mesh stuff, and then also I need to make an item, and item wise, I'm supposed to have made the flipping music player, so it's still on hold. But just put the controller aside. Wow. Omni. Your head is just too big. Okay, so now it is on hold, and yeah, so hold and click. So that ended up. This is what I just love about, like, some of the times you start coding and you're like, oh man, how am I going to implement this? And it just ends up being like, oh, you could just check the user requirement before, you know. So this is for end detect event. I also need to implement it for the precursor stuff. Now the precursor is actually toggle by default. And now that I think about it, I don't think it can be hold, because when you are using the precursor, I'm not sure you can press things. I mean, you can press things, but the reason why it would not be possible. Oh, actually, it should be possible when I think about it, because I'm toggling. So you call this function, and if it's on, it will turn it on. So I should just be able, logically speaking, to just plop this in here, actually, like that. So where enter virtual pointer is that, this would be this, and that would be that, and yeah, that should do it. So if it's hold, then you would want to subscribe to the end detect event to remove it when you let go. Yeah, okay. Damn, I didn't expect to implement those two things pretty quickly. So now I'm able to set up if I want it to toggle, which I will, and if I want to hide the player or not. And it will handle the things. Yay. So right now, I don't want it to hide the player when I'm... Actually, I do want it to hide the player. But in case if I was making an app where it shouldn't, then, you know, this whole thing, like, just making this one thing, apart from the fact that it makes everything else easier, like, I'm willing to sink in the time to perfect this stuff, the cursor thing, because it's what enables and will enable, like, a lot of my games. Well, not all of them, but most of them. Right? There's a game I've wanted to make so many times, like, for a long time, for a very long time, but I just didn't, because of the what's the logistics to the word? Let's see. This game, like, I wanted to make it pretty from pretty very early phase that I'm pretty sure I could probably, maybe not, but it's probably in my OG maps, right? Aha. See? So spot the difference. Ah, sheesh, man. We might not see the stuff because I might have made it in a level instance, so, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe we'll get a blank island. If I did this stuff like the first initials in a level sequence, then we won't see it. But if I didn't, then we should. See it. Oh man, yeah. Like this was gonna be the pregame, and you might recognize this from the Legend of the Legendary Heroes, because I copied in. Remember this was the strat. Oh my god! If you wanted to copy stuff, back then you would use the phone and like select everything, and it would be nice to like you'd place a cone down somewhere and then select everything, and then select the cone, and then you would copy it into your hotbar, fly into the other island, and then line up the cone with the stuff. I mean, now you can just like, you can just, but yeah, back then, Creative 1.0 days, honestly, I do not miss it. I do not miss it one bit. All right, um, so yeah, essentially, like you could see what I was going for here. I was gonna make a map where like there would be like sort of like two sections of this, and then each would have like there'll be two of it, and then there'll be like little differences here and there and stuff, right? And then the player would spot the differences. That's what I was gonna do, because growing up, I played quite a bunch of I played this game a lot. It was called Agatha Christie, Peril at End House. If I can, let's see if I can find played it. Christie Peril, played in Peril at End House. Yeah. Wow, it's like a detective game. 2007. So, but I played it like in 2012 because it came bundled with my laptop then. Um, damn. Yeah. Oh, memories. Oh, I can download the game. It's only 54 megabytes. Oh, sheesh. I mean, heck, why not? Did I just download malware? I don't know. But you can see this is kind of like how it usually. Oh, shit! I literally remember this place. This is the game. So you would have things that you would, need to examine, letter, and you just, go around looking for the stuff and like say, glass of cola. This is a terrible example, but the glass of cola could be like there, and you click, and whenever you get one of them, it would cross out it would do a little scratch out of the stuff, and you could like get hints and stuff, but like, damn. But yeah, this got me into a whole spot the difference type stuff. It was a yeah, it was a game. It was a like an investigation type game and stuff. So if I wanted to make that game right now in Fortnite, well, I now have my um like my cursor stuff. It's perfectly equipped to just let me drop in and click on things. Yep. So the cursor has been finished. Well, the upgrade to the cursor has been finished. I can say that for sure ish. There isn't really anything else to do on the cursor side. Okay, so definitely probably need to do a thing. I don't know if it's the simulation didn't end or whatever. Oh, so it's on hold. Oh wait, no, there's actually something else that I did not do, which I need to do next, which is actually important for. So skeletal mesh animation stuff, scene graph. I need to learn how to use that. I need to make a custom item, and what else? There's also, we got the ability to detect what the player's input is, so I need to do something with that. And then camera stuff, but camera is next update, so that's still a days away. So what I was thinking for the custom item, because I'm gonna make three custom items. I'm gonna make a custom item using the template, the gun something, so like a weapon template or something, a custom item of that. And then I'm going to make the music player. I keep saying I'm going to make, and it's like, are you actually gonna do this? But yeah, I'm gonna make the music player. I've actually started working on that today. I imported some assets for it and set up the preparation and stuff. And then I also want to make a custom cursor item. So basically an item that goes in your inventory, and then when you equip it, it will give you the cursor. So it'll give you this thing, but without needing to be in the volume. And you would get it by popping up the item. So here I have the cursor entitlement by when I step into the zone, I have the cursor entitlement, so I can use the cursor while I'm in the zone. But the item will put you into the usage state. So when you equip the item, it would put you in the state to use the cursor. And when you unequip the item, because you can equip items, like you can cycle, you can change your inventory while holding the cursor, right? So when you unequip the item, it would remove you from the thing. So that is the item that item number 3 I want to make. And I have this cool idea for it where you will see, like when you drop it in the world, if you are on keyboard and mouse, you will see a cursor. If you are on controller, you would see like a gamepad, you would see the circle gamepad icon thing. And if you are on mobile, you will see a finger. So like the pickup is going to look different depending on what input you are. So that's how I'm going to use the input thing. That's how I'm going to practice the input thing. So I want to bake in now the ability to force put a player into the usage state. Now, most of these functions here, as you can see, are private, except for this one. I haven't actually done it yet. But most of them are private, and how you interface with them is through some stuff that I have provided. Initially I had like this one. So this was how you can force a player to go in or go out of the free cursor, but I'm going to combine this into a thing down there. So it would do this, but down there, because they're all private here, except for this one. This one needs to be public. And you call these externally with this. So if you wanted to give the cursor to the player, well, give the cursors to the player such that they can either freely moving in and out of it. You would call this function, give cursor to player, which would grant them the cursor entitlement. So if I used this in my custom item, what that would do is that when they equip the cursor, they can then manually press a button to go in. If it's something, the locked one, just, if you give the cursor entitlement to a player, and wait, I think if you give it to the player and it's the locked type, it would automatically just show up on screen and then they can click. But if it's this one, then if it's the other two, free cursor and stuff, then it would just set them up so that they can press the button to go in or out. It will also do like a little bit of extra stuff for the free cursor because it has to create some objects for the player. So that's what give cursor to the player does. It won't force them into it if it's the thing. So I need to make a new one here. There's like force usage or force grant user. No, man. And then these are utilities. I don't know why. These are kind of like different a little bit. But these are like the main ones here. And then you can also check if the player is using free cursor. Actually, now I think about it, I should do a thingy here to check if it's using virtual pointer. Okay. And this should actually not be here. So we're gonna chuck that down there. Okie dokie. So what am I gonna call it? Give cursor to player. Maybe I should do it here. Okay, yeah, just instead of making a different function, actually, maybe I should make it a different function so you can pull the player out without necessarily removing the entitlement. Okay, I'm gonna do that. So force usage. Let's see. We'll do player, type player. Force usage, state, logic, public, size, should not be the size though. Oh, that should not be there. And that should not be there. Okay, so force usage. Yeah, let's make it the sides. So this is just me protecting the developer here. I could make it so if you call force usage, it would give the entitlements, and then it would This should have a check, ideally. Should do a bunch of check there. So if I call this multiple times, it's actually going to add the player multiple times. So I should check if the player already has entitlement. If let's do it here. Why not? Player. Do agent. Dot as cursor entitlement. So then we will then check. I'm just gonna copy what I wrote because I don't want to write it again. Where did I do it? Here. So this is essentially the entitlement check, actually. So has cursor entitlement. I plop this in here and then do that. And this is the check. So it will go through all the entities. Now, initially, the plan was to have this and then do this dot find. Let me actually see if I'm doing it somewhere. I am. Am I not? Yeah. So this was kind of how I was going to. This was the initial way, but this method right here. This basically makes it so that if you don't have a cursor, pressing a fire button wouldn't attempt to do the raycast. This find, I just don't trust it. It's like almost everything in the flipping verse digest about arrays, like the array operation events, functions, they're just like notoriously slow, right? So, gosh, I don't know. I don't trust to use the find, which is why I'm going to just. I would rather like it would. It seems more optimal to go through all of them and check if the thing is in there. So has cursor entitlement is going to be my new find, and there should not be transacts actually. Compute. And as for you, this is transacts. And it has to be transacts because of the flipping get for character. Okay. Agent.get entity calls the entity of the fourth character. So, and my cursor with entitlements. My cursor with entitlements, right, this one is based on the player's, okay, so it's based on the player's, okay, so this is why I'm doing the thing. So this you can call it like remotely, or it normally goes in if you have the zones, like if you have like a mesh volume for it, right? So when you enter the mesh, it would do that. Now when you enter the mesh, it gives you the entity, like it gives you your fourth character entity. So whenever I go into this mesh and it triggers, it fires the entity enter event, it's the entity of the fourth character that I get, which, now I think about it, that might have been piling up, which like is different every time you respawn, right? However, the one entity that is not different when you respawn is the entity of your player, like the agent entity. So then, okay. So instead of adding the cursor to the thing, I'm gonna do entity.getAgent. I think I should have that somewhere. Yep, get player. Yeah, this is apparently how you're supposed to do it. So if you want to get the agent, the entity, because this player here, even though it's player, it's you know, it's subclasses agents, and then this agent entity here, like we're trying to get this one. Now this one is you as you entered into the simulation, like it's you, it's not the fourth character that dies. Unfortunately, you cannot put things on this, you cannot put entities on this one. There's internal logic to block it. There's a workaround which you can, I don't know if I should say the workaround because it might not be, you know, legal, but there's a workaround to put entities on this. But if you do put an entity on this, it's not going to render in the world because this entity of the agent is not in the world. It lives outside the round simulation entity. So, but the benefit of putting stuff there is that it's unaffected by response. If I were to put, like, I don't know, here, look, there's a prime example, right? I'll put a flashlight. Oh, wait, no. Wait, why is this stuff still toggle? Wait, it's on hold. Pretty sure I did toggle, so like, what's that about? Oh, I haven't pushed change. Okay. Anyway, no biggie. Crap. R and T are too close together for comfort. All right, so I'm just gonna give myself that. Did I do it? I think I did. Yeah. Okay. I should have had it like, instead of fixed time, I think it's like fixed speed. It travels at a fixed speed. It's not time based. That's why it takes a while. So the flashlight, right? If I were to, if I respawn right now, so it's moving with me and all that is nice and good, but then I respawn, I don't have it because it's attached. Oh my, what the fuck? Oh wait, no. Oh, okay. Right. It doesn't just automatically do that. I forgot. I implemented something into the flashlight to essentially handle the situation. It's not like it automatically knows to reattach, but I have like it's a number here. So 0 for on elimination. Should it regrant? Should it remove? Or should it drop? So basically, what happened just there? It didn't look like it, but on elimination, it actually created a new flashlight and reparented it to my player. But otherwise, it would just stay there and not move. Like, yeah. So basically, when you respawn, you get a new pawn entity, right? The pawn entity you get is the one that is that this function on the fourth character interface returns. So there's this one is fresh every time you respawn, but the entity that is your agent, because the agent is now, again, I just keep saying this over, but the entity that is the agent does not change. Okay, so sheesh, all of that for what, Juno? Like, what's the app for? Well, quite simple. It's for I am now, because like it hasn't always been that way, right? Like the agent, when we got scene graph, the agent wasn't immediately like, you know, rewritten to subclass to be a subclass of the entity. So when I made this, the only option I had was to store the pawn entity, which is what you get from, you know, crossing into a volume, because that's what's overlapping the volume. That's the entity that crossed in. Anyway, so I'm going to rewrite this a little bit so that I get the agent. So this entity here from crossing into entering the mesh component, that is the fourth character entity, right? Now, the thing is, if you have a fourth character, you're able to get, the heck is it? You're able to get the entity of the fourth character, right? But if you have an entity, you are not able to get the fourth character from it. So how do you do that? In the past, there was a hanky-janky workaround where you would get the entity and you would get its components and you would cast the components to a fourth character, because there used to be a fourth character component that was internal, kind of, it existed. So you could try to cast it to the fourth character interface and that would succeed. And you know, you would then get the fourth character from there. But that it's been said many times that, hey, this is not how you're supposed to do it. Yeah, it's been said many times, this is not how you're supposed to do it. So that's what I used to have before, and I've kind of like replaced it with this new setup. And what this setup is that you have an entity. Like whenever you have an entity, you can get the components that are on the entity with the get components function. So for example, like, yeah, you can get the components of any entity, right? Like even if you don't have the components available to us to like put on something, you're able to query the components of any entity. So I'm just going to do like a little quick, actually I'm just going to correct this 1 second so I can build. Going to call this transact. Now what I'm doing all of this is because I want to use the compute here. I don't want to maybe compute and reads or something, but not transacts. Try to use compute wherever I can. It says the peer function and cannot be rolled back. Like you can get all the components. Wait, how do you get them one at a time? Oh wait, I understand what you mean. Like you would do like get components and pass like them. Wait, let me see. Components. Oh wait, no, what am I? You will never do it with this. What did I just do that for? You would do like this, like get component, mesh components. Is that what you're talking about? But if that's what you're talking about, then yes, you get it once, and you can also do get components, and it would give you an array of all the components on there. But if you want to know which is which, you would still have to like take the element, like each array, and then you like each element there and cast it to the specific stuff. So let's see if I have get components. Yeah, I'm using it summer. So that's how I do my interaction stuff, actually.